Welcome to Graphic Policy Television, GPTV. I'm Brett, and here we are talking about the latest release from Wizards of the Coast for Dungeons & Dragons, and that's the Princes of the Apocalypse campaign book for their Elemental Evil storyline. So in January, Wizards of the Coast announced their new storyline for the revamped Dungeons & Dragons. It's called Elemental Evil. The story will thread through lots of different products, including things for both digital and tabletop players. It begins in March, was the official beginning, and it's going to run through the summers, and during which heroes are needed in the Forgotten Realms to discover and defeat secret cults that threaten to annihilate the Sword Coast by harnessing the powers of the elements of fire, water, air, and earth. So the product lineup includes release of a new downloadable module called Neverwinter Elemental Evil for the free-to-play D&D MMORPG, multi-person role-playing game. And then when it comes to the tabletop, so you've got the Prince of the Apocalypse Adventure. It's by Wizards of the Coast and Sasquatch Game Studio. It's out April 7th and includes an epic adventure for characters level 1 through 15. Other products are, there's going to be a Temple of Elemental Evil Adventure System board game and pre-painted collectible miniatures, all from WizKids. The board game, I think, is out later this month, and the miniatures have been out for a few weeks now. And then there's tabletop RPG game products from Gale Force 9, including Dungeon Master Screen, featuring Elemental Evil art, as well as unpainted resin miniatures that tie into the adventure, all slated to release in the beginning of March. So this is the first campaign book, the Princes of the Apocalypse. It's an epic adventure for the Elemental Evil story arc. It's designed for 5th edition of Dungeons & Dragons tabletop role-playing game. Princes of the Apocalypse contains everything players need to unearth the deception and abolish an ancient evil threatening devastation to the lands and people of the Forgotten Realms. In the adventure, 4 cults dedicated to evil elemental powers have infiltrated the north, bringing destruction to the Forgotten Realms. The cult's agents are everywhere, but who are they and what are their plans? When you don't know whom to trust, knowledge is your only weapon. So key things off of this adventure. This is a super adventure for the Elemental Evil story arc. It's everything a dungeon master needs to create an exciting and memorable play experience. So this book is really geared towards the people who are running your campaigns, not necessarily the characters and the players themselves. So if you're a dungeon master, you're going to want to look into it. Everyone else, if you're just looking for something to read, some flavor, you can check it out. It's got new spells and races. Princes of the Apocalypse delivers a grand adventure for characters level 1 through 15, mentioned that already, as well as new elemental spells and the element-touched genasi as a new playable race. Also this April, we've got the Neverwinter Elemental Evil. You can battle the cults of the Elemental Evil in the online game. That's also supposed to launch April 7th. And we have the Temple of Elemental Evil Adventure System board game. It's designed by Wizards of the Coast and WizKids, which features 13 connected scenarios, allowing you and your friends' characters to evolve and grow over the campaign to fight stronger monsters and overcome more dastardly hazards. That comes out April 22nd, barring any delays. So you can check out this beautiful book. As always, Wizards of the Coast puts out amazing, amazing books. The beauty of it is, I mean, you hold it in your hands, you can see the quality of it. It retails for $49.95. It's got the front that we've seen with all other books, the back where it's kind of the glossy on one side and flat matte on the other. So pretty consistent. The book just will stand out and look great for everything next to your collection on your shelf. So there's a whole bunch of chapters. Of course, got the noise forward. Beautiful art, maps, everything that you're gonna need to play. What was that? What was that really, really cool art that showed up? So we got some beautiful, beautiful art, some really cool maps. There was a cool one. I flipped past it. Not the point. So the contents are Chapter 1, Rise of the Elemental Evil. Talks about how you use the book, adventure background, the synopsis. The elemental cult goes into details of those, including the cult of Black Earth, cult of Crushing Wave, cult of the Eternal Flame, and cult of the Howling Hatred. It's got running the adventure, adventure hooks, factions, starting the adventure, preparing for play, using monster references, and using the side trucks. Chapter 2 is the Disarian Valley, gives you the history, current events, Let Red Larch, exploring the valley, valley sites, and the Uthgarth tribes. Chapter 3 is the secrets of the Somber Hills, missing a delegation, early investigations, cult reprisals, Feathergale Spire, Knight's Quest, Sighing Valley, Riverguard Keep, Sacred Stone Masonry, Scarlet Moon Hall. Chapter 4 is Air, Earth, Fire, Water. Pretty sure they were a great band in the 70s. We've got Rooting Out Evil, Cult Retaliation, Temple of the Howling Hatred, Temple of Crushing Wave, Temple of Black Earth, Temple of the Eternal Flame. Chapter 5 is Temple of the Elder Elemental Eye, Wrath of the Elements, Fighting the Prophets, Saving the Delegates, Fane of the Eye, Howling Caves, Plunging Torrent, Black Geode, The Weeping Colossus, concluding the campaign. Chapter 6 is Alarms and Excursions, Trouble in Red Larch, Into the Wilderness, Necromancer's Cave, Tomb of the Moving Stones, bunch of side trucks, including New Management, Ice Shield, Orcs, Long Road, Curse of the Fire Witch, Veil of Dancing Waters, Dark Dealings in the Yartar, Rundreth Manor, Halls of the Hunting Axe. Chapter 7's Monsters and Magic Items. Monsters include Howling Hatred Cultists, Black Earth Cultists, Eternal Flame Cultists, Crushing Wave Cultists, other villains, Elemental Miradoms, Princes of the Elemental Evil, Magic Items, Relics of Besselmere, Elemental Items. The Appendix A is about the Genasi. Appendix B is spells, including spells list and descriptions. Appendix C is adapting to other worlds, and then we have the afterwards. 251 solid pages of D&D goodness for you to run your campaign and get your players excited with all kinds of new items, characters, spells, and adventure. This is a solid book for folks, Dungeon Masters, who are, if you're done with the Tyranny of Dragons, which was the first storyline that Wizards of the Coast put out for the new D&D, and you're looking for a new adventure, well, here you go. So this will inspire you. It's got campaigns built in. The big and the thing that I think really stands out to me is that it is for characters levels 1 through 15, whereas Tyranny of Dragons kind of built off. You had for 1 to 5 and then 5 and up. This one, just you can start off with this. You don't have to go and play through the Tyranny of Dragons to build up your characters. You can just dive into this right away. So it is the Princes of the Apocalypse for Elemental Evil, storyline for Dungeons and Dragons. Primordial evil threatens the realms. The first signs are always small. Bandits on the roads, pirates on the Desarin River, monster sightings throughout the Somber Hills, all too close to the lands of civilized folks. To top things off, a delegation from the dwarven city of Mirabar has gone missing. Are these events all some bizarre coincidence, or is there a deeper reason behind them? Working through its prophets, the Elder Elemental Eye has emerged to spread chaos across the Forgotten Realms. How will the adventurers prevent absolute devastation? So it includes all new spells, Elemental Touched Genasi as a new playable race, and then for use with the 5th edition Player's Handbook, Monster Manual, and Dungeon Master's Guide. Also keep in mind, after the Tyranny of Dragon storyline is over for WizKids Dungeons & Dragons Attack Wing, they're moving into Elemental Evil, so this will give a great hint as to what players can expect as far as figure releases down the line. We're going to dive in more. We'll have more to say on our site. You can find us at graphicpolicy.com. Of course, every single day at Graphic Policy on Twitter, Facebook, YouTube here. All keep it consistent. Till next time, keep on rolling dice and keep it geeky.